All right, so this guy,
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Brian Poe, he's got fucking doctor in his name.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so where was I? I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
man, I've seen like different ways that
Mm-hmm.
you can put seaweed in it, and
Right.
you
The
can
cow thing.
grow the
Right. Yeah.
seaweed. Yeah, I was like, you can grow the seaweed, and
Mm-hmm.
that's a climate's carbon sink right there, and then you take the carbon and you fucking chop it up and feed it to the cows,
Okay.
and then that lowers their methane, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which like this is a massive project. It's like not like some little rinky dink thing. It's gotten like a lot of attention, right? Because it's a good fix.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I always say, like it's not even that difficult. It just has to be done, right? There's plenty of like hacks and like
Mm-hmm.
efficiency gains and other methods to make it not so painful, right?
Right.
And that being one of them, right? But like people have their own projects, right? They want to get selected, that they want to prioritize the thing that they're working on,
Mm-hmm.
and other people think that like, oh, this is the best way to do it. Like this is the only way that'll work. Like we've got to fully like decarbonize our like agriculture and just different methods. It's easy to get wrapped up in that, right? Because like
Mm-hmm.
a few years ago, I was like arguing with people about using nuclear, right? People
Yeah.
like to like argue about that
Mm-hmm.
in certain corners of the internet, right? And I was like, dude, it's a no-brainer. You go with the fucking nuclear reactors. You don't need to fuck with the fusion, or you don't need to bother putting solar panels everywhere. It seems like a no-brainer, right? Because the renewable types, like they seem to think that like
Mm-hmm.
it's a panacea, like it's a panacea, like they can just put fucking solar panels everywhere and
Mm-hmm.
that's problem solved. And
I mean, that doesn't work for every part of the country.
yeah, it's for the country, and it doesn't work for like baseload. Like it's very like
Mm-hmm.
the energy density is not very good, right? So you have to
Yeah.
like run that shit a lot, and then you have to have just twice the time to cover for time when you're not producing or when it's not working, depending on what you're going with. And then you need to have batteries, which is just a huge resource suck to have battery backup. And then most people want to have a couple days worth of batteries in there, right? So I think that's a giant hassle, and I think the better bet would just be like I always said, like fucking small modular reactor, yes, produce them, bam, done, right? It's hot rocks in a box. You shake it up,
Mm-hmm.
you suck the steam off of it. No problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but like people all have their own pet issues that they want to see pursued. So like, of course, the vegans all want us to focus on getting rid of getting rid of fucking livestock, right? They don't want
Right.
meat and dairy, which they're right. You could do a lot with that, but like
Mm-hmm.
I'm concerned with selling it to people, right? Like you can't, like you're not getting people on board if your sales pitch is, and you get to eat fucking soy, like you get to eat vegetables and no meat and
Mm-hmm.
lots of soy. It's gonna be tight. Nobody fucking was gonna be all about that, right?
Right.
Like you gotta have like carrots and sticks. You gotta
Mm-hmm.
have like things that are. That's what I'm saying, man. I don't want to have like man boobs, fucking soy boobs,
You'll become
right?
Vosh if you start eating so. Oh, that's great. All right, I think our technical issues have kind of been resolved here, or my technical issues, I should say. All right, let me see. Are you on the right network, bro? Oh man, what happened to Matt now? All right, you good? All right, you're good.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. What was the? See, David got a new hat. Imagine Matt gained like 100 pounds and had a man bun. Oh no! They'd call him like Negavosh or something. There's David's new hat.
Like, I do plan
Mm-hmm.
Trump heads in the near future, but
Barring that.
this guy.
Uh huh.
We finished with this fucking guy, Dr.
Alright.
Brian Poe.
Oh, okay.
So he links.
Uh huh.
He says, "I'm sorry, that's not true," right? And I'm like, well, first of all, it is true, right? Like I said, I've seen papers that about how adding, 10% seaweed to their regular food can, basically eliminate methane emissions,
Mm-hmm.
and the seaweed farm still blows a carbon sink. And he says, "I'm sorry, that's not true. The seaweed only helped in feedlots and only on a small pilot scale." And then he links some other vegan douchebag who's like, not only is there a lack of imagination at work with this seaweed project, but a lack of truth in its underlying claims.
Mm-hmm.
Like, seaweed can't reduce methane by 80%. It only does that on feedlots where beef cattle emit 20% of their life cycle emissions. Like, basically, like, I'm going to try to poke holes in this shit because it's not my preferred method. Like, I'm going to pick out everything that's wrong with it and, like, single-handedly focus on that.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought my reply was pretty good. Like,
All right, yeah,
so
I'm good.
it
And Matt's
helped-
lagging. Sorry, I'm reading.
like
Mhm.
so it helped when they fed it to them and didn't help as much when they didn't feed it to them. Like,
So that I mean,
what's the problem here?
mm,
um, so it's like, even with seaweed in feedlots, cattle would still be significantly worse than other foods.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, no shit. We know that. Like, of course, like, the vegan bros are gonna try to be like, oh, this is the only way to go. You have to fucking eliminate dairy and cattle, blah blah blah. I'm like, still, like, you're gonna have to plan around that because we definitely can.
mm-hmm.
Like, just your preferred method is to get everybody to join your new age cult,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's a good goal.
Yeah.
We should try to do that at some point, but to try to get everybody on board with that shit right now,
Mm-hmm.
like, have you seen these people? Like, none of these fucking people want to do anything differently, let alone, like, give up